only that, is the Supreme Court has been very equivocal when it comes to, and very selective when it comes to, who tries and who doesn't try. You're absolutely right. All the accusations and charges that apply to Rousseff should apply to Temer. But for some reason, the Supreme Court, despite the fact that formal representations were made to it refused to accept them. Either to impeach, also apply the impeachment procedures also to Temer, or do an investigation, which is really unacceptable. And it seems to me that this is going to mean that the population are going to be very angry, very frustrated, and they're not going to have any trust in any of the key institutions of the country, namely the Congress, the Senate, and the Supreme Court, which doesn't bode well for democracy in that country. Therefore, this is going to give a tremendous impetus to their mobilization because it's so unfair and it's so outrageous.
And indeed, we've seen those protests taking place already in Brazil, thousands of people out on the streets. So it remains to be seen how that will develop over the coming days and weeks. Dr. Francisco Dominguez, Head of Latin American Studies at Middlesex University in the UK, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time here on RT International.
My pleasure.
Well, we explore claims the Turkish government has ignored the activity of Islamic State terrorists on its territory. That's coming up for you just after this short break. Do stay tuned.
Global economy has already crashed, but it's being kept artificially stimulated by central banks pumping in lots of this, cheap money, right? So they go, oh, there might be a revolution in China. Let's print more free money. Oh, there might be a revolution in Europe. ECB should print more money. Oh, there might be a revolution in America. The Federal Reserve should print more money. Oh, let's just print more money. So what happens to the economy? It becomes completely invalid because there's no genuine price discovery, which means there's no moral, there's no ethics, there's no basis of a communal good, and it's anarchy, and it's violent, and you see the violence everywhere, funded by cheap money.
Russia and the United States may disagree on many things, but central to all those disputes is their competition over Europe. Can the continent ever be whole and free without keeping anyone out or down?
Welcome back to RT International. A Turkish opposition MP has accused the government of ignoring Islamic State terrorist activity on its territory, despite knowing their precise location. Documents containing what is thought to be proof of those allegations have been leaked to the media. Andrew Farmer spoke with our correspondent William Whiteman about those revelations.
Eren Erdem, he's a CHP politician in Turkey, a Republican People's Party politician, one of the main opposition groups. He contacted RT and he's given us a large sort of treasure trove of documents, of alleged secret police documents, which detail the activities of around 1,000 alleged ISIL members who are active within Turkey, or who have been active within Turkey, at the knowledge of the Turkish police, apparently, who have been tracking them but not intercepting them as such. As well as that, we also have transcriptions of conversations between alleged ISIL members discussing their various operations. All of this is detailed within police documents. We can now have a look at the statement which Erdem made in Turkish Parliament earlier on.
These phone conversations include terrorists' locations, which hotel they were staying in, which petrol station they would fill up their cars at, in which mosque of Kilis they would gather, how many people would come and go, all of it. Even though this information was known, there wasn't any operation against them. I am asking a simple question. Why didn't you arrest these terrorists?
So he skimmed over some details there, didn't he, about what's actually in these phone calls. But what further details are there?
Well, so the main body, I'd say, of the documents focuses on these phone calls, as we were saying. Obviously, the most important member of ISIS who appears very often in these documents is Ilhami Bali, who is reportedly behind the Ankara bombing attacks, which targeted pro-Kurdish activists, left-wing activists, at a bombing in Ankara last year. We actually have translated one of these telephone conversations involving Bali. We can have a listen to that now.
Did you get our people through?
No, I didn't.
What? You didn't let them through? Are you the one who got them arrested?
What?
Are you the one who got them arrested yesterday?
No, I wasn't the one helping them cross.
Abby gave me your name. They gave me your number. Don't lie to me. 18 people crossed the border last night. 15 of them were arrested when you tried to help them. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Brother, I didn't pick up your guys.
Listen to me. I've warned you. I told you before not to help our people cross, but you did, and now they've been arrested.
Brother, what are you talking about?
Look, from now on, if I ever hear you try and help our people cross again, I will come to your house and shoot you in the head. I will shoot you in bed.
Another terrorist who is mentioned specifically is called Abu Hanzala. He runs a fiercely sectarian website which calls for the persecution and killing of various minorities.
Mr. Erdem, he's been pretty brave, many would say, in coming out with these revelations. But that also puts him in a precarious position, doesn't it? Because he's been called a traitor before, hasn't he, by President Erdogan?
No, exactly. I mean, well, Erdem himself actually appeared on RT previously, and we did an interview with him, but this landed him in a huge amount of trouble. So he's been reluctant to talk directly to us on air this time. However, he did, of course, send us the documents himself. Obviously, at the moment, he is safe because, well, he is, as a member of Parliament, he can't be charged of anything. However, if he is stripped of this as a result of making this leak, then he could be potentially in a very dangerous position. But obviously, we should note that Turkey has vehemently denied the claims which were raised by these documents, and indeed what Erdem said in Parliament. They consistently maintain that they are fighting terrorism both domestically in Turkey and abroad in Syria.
The European Union's naval mission, launched in response to the mass migrant crisis, has failed, according to a UK House of Lords report. And critics say the search and rescue activity of Operation Sophia acts as a magnet to migrants and aids people traffickers. The chairman of the EU External Affairs Subcommittee at the House of Lords admitted the failure of the mission.
It's saving a lot of lives. But what it is not doing is stopping or interrupting the flow of migrants across the Mediterranean, and nor has it been able to get to grips with the business model of the people who are actually organising the trafficking.
The operation was launched last year to disrupt the smuggling of migrants from Libya by trafficking networks. According to the report, about 9,000 people have already been saved during the mission. But that wasn't its main remit. Only a month ago, Federica Mogherini, the EU Foreign Affairs Chief, said its primary purpose was to target criminals in the Mediterranean.
Today we can be proud of Europe. The mandate of this mission is not purely saving lives. It's also and mainly protecting lives, which means fighting against the criminal organizations. The highlight has to be on the capacity that we have developed to deter the trafficking of people.
Officially called the European Union Naval Force Mediterranean, it has an annual budget of €12 million and includes military assets and personnel. And it seems some of that money is spent on promotional videos shown on social media as well.
How many people inside?
I agree with everything that the report says. it was very concerned that this Operation Sophia wasn't really living up to its mandate, wasn't really able to carry out the mission it has. All this operation's really able to do, it's collecting people, it's recovering people trying to cross the sea, but with very little deterrent effect. It hasn't been stopping people from making the journey, and it has done far too little of stopping illegal human traffickers. So you can have ships in the sea, but they can only, in a sense, deal with the symptom of the problem. The cause of the problem is the political instability that is in Libya, that is the civil war in Syria.
Well, the Mediterranean is one of the main routes for smuggling migrants. It generates billions of dollars a year for criminal networks.
Safe transportation!